Good morning, traders. I'm going to try to keep the video cheap short here. We do have Amazon reporting tonight, so big day ahead of us here, guys. Big day. Okay, so we'll see what happens going forward here. Personally, I want to see the reaction. This is the first quarter ever for Amazon to have ad revenue added to their books. When Netflix did this, it was a really big up session. But Amazon's got a lot more irons in the fire, and we've already heard warnings about cloud computing revenues have been really under pressure. So we have to be very mindful of that this quarter here. That Amazon being one of the biggest cloud providers in the world, we have to be mindful of that situation going forward here. So I know a lot Elliott Wave people and stuff. They're looking for 61.20 for the upside up to 61.50. Okay, this is our target area for the wave count. Potentially ending a wave 3 breakout here. Doing the back test. We are opening above the pivot area this morning, and now we're back testing it as we speak. A lot of the traders seem to think we're not going to back test too deep here for like a wave 4 correction, then continue higher. I do want to point out here, excuse me, this here was the DPAC news came out, and we just completely obliterated because of that news. Here NDXs and the markets in general and stuff. Well, the overhead supply is still up there. So we do have overhead supply above us. We tried to get back into it once and it failed miserably. Okay, and that it failed miserably based off of the tariff news. Okay, so we do have proven a responsive selling pressure at this price point. So be very mindful. We're back testing that pivot area as we speak, and we are trading outside of the accelerated uptrend channel that we've been in for the past few days here. Okay, since February. So be very mindful here. This is a very critical area that if we do have a dead cat bounce still playing out here, this is the area using volume profile you would be looking for a big rejection on the 4-hour here for a lower high scenario in the markets. So we have a double top, okay, but if you're finally looking for a lower high, this prior fair value gap area suggests that there's a lot less support at this price point higher than what we've had in the past. So this is what we'd be looking for. You don't want to be going full tilt bullish the market in this price range in today. So be very mindful here going forward here. We could very well close the week on back to the January close here. We're not that far from the January close anyway. So we could very well just close our week out in the doji on the January close. So be very mindful of that scenario here going forward. Okay. Go over the NQs here. 1 second here. I gotta exit my draw program here. Okay. NQ. Similar situation. I gotta zoom in here so you guys see better. I got my market webs on here, and with the there's some settings I need to turn off on this. I don't need this anymore. Let me remove it. Sorry. Thought I had this cleaned up and stuff. So basically, see how we are right here? We are actually rejecting the pivot. This prior high pivot, we're actually rejecting it this morning. This is also another prior 4-hour fair value gap. Similar situation. We had the DPAC news, and then we had the excuse me, tariff news. So we got a double whammy that has been rejected off of news here. Yeah, and trading outside of this week's weekly value area high above that, trying to poke back into that range early on this morning. So be very mindful of that. This is showing a little bit more relative weakness here. The fact that we've already crossed back inside of that early on this morning. So be very mindful. And this accelerated, see this accelerated uptrend. If I extend that, extend to the right. So as you can see, we are walking away from that accelerated uptrend. Now, don't get me wrong, that does not mean that we're not just going to keep going higher. It just suggests that, the markets look like they're at the very least in a pause mode. I know a lot of traders are not looking for too much downside, so let's be very mindful. And we do have okay, this was a pivot area that we broke out of yesterday. Okay, or no, no. So that was the Tuesday. Tuesday we broke out above that. I think that's right. Yeah. Let me double check it here. No, it was Wednesday. Yeah. So yesterday afternoon we broke out of this pivot. So typically a lot of times knowing that this is such a major volume profile, a back test here would be very important. See, on a weekly basis, this was a weekly breakout. So a back test of this area right here is very much in the cards. That'd be the 21,666 back test to see if there's any uh, responsive buying at that point. So just be very mindful of that. We're probably doing a little back and fill early on this morning, in my opinion. Okay. And all my put walls and call walls are all based off of Sunday's data. They've all completely changed. But I like having those on my chart. That gives me a reference area of what has been was coming into this week, acting as a resistance area. Okay. And that being said, if I go over to SPY, over here on my yeah, there you go. Maximize sell real quick here. SPY, this was the monthly call wall for SPY. So we came into this week and I was looking at the open interest, and we have a massive call wall here on SPY for the monthly. So basically, we were in positive gamma just up till just a little while ago. And 405, 605 is a major area on a monthly time frame. So some responsive sell side action at this level does make a whole lot of sense. So be very mindful of that, knowing that we're into a monthly major open interest. Okay, 41,000 contracts. We're open Sunday, and it's a lot bigger now than it was even Sunday. Okay, I can't remember what is on Q's. Oops, wrong one. I gotta change my chart. Wait a minute. Just give me a second here. Similar situation. I got my ugly mug here, guys, in the way I can't. 1 second here. Let me pause it. Okay, similar situation here. So we know we've had a lot of the megatech numbers earnings coming out. We saw a little bit more positive, a positive breakout scenario in NVIDIA there yesterday, and a lot of the AI names saw a relief rally yesterday in that push up. But I do want to. We do have a lot of open interest right here. They came in yesterday. Based off the Sunday open interest, we pushed up above the prior area Sunday. The big open interest for today, Thursday's open interest, uh, last Sunday was right here. We looked above. Now we're looking below, suggesting that this coming into this week, suggesting option writers did not see prices going this high coming into this week. So we knew into the close by just keeping that in the back of your mind where the option wall, the gamma walls are at throughout the course of the week, whether they're still relevant or not. Just being aware of where those walls were at, they can have muscle memory on those levels, and that's exactly what we're seeing here in the markets. So be very mindful early on this morning that scenario going forward, and we have to be mindful of that. Okay, and the Russell. Pretty constructive here, guys. So we've had this we're breaking out above these prior highs here, above these prior highs here on the Russell. So I want to zoom in here on the 4 hour and how we're currently trading here on the Russell. So basically, until we break out above the you know I don't know 21 or 23.38. Until we start seeing price acceptance above the 23.38, we have to think the risk reward is likely to the downside. So be very mindful of that. We're still trading in a resistance area on the Russell here. Good thing about yesterday was we did break about, this was a 4 hour fair value gap that we did early on, around 10 o'clock yesterday morning. We did accept prices above that 4 hour fair value gap. So we are in the upper side of that distribution. We are 4 weeks out. We have broken up above the weekly on it as well. But this has been in sideways consolidation for a while into resistance here. So just be very mindful of that. And if you look here, if you draw a little channel, it's pretty much the same on all the indices here. So, this very strong, uh, this is kind of the strong move right into, on the Russell, right into that trend channel. This one's actually looking a lot better than what we're seeing in Techland. And Techland's looking really pretty weak this morning. So be very mindful. Techland and SPY, both Tech's actually behaving a little bit weaker based off of the pattern that I'm seeing. Okay. So there you go. That's some big takeaways that I'm seeing here. Like I said, Amazon is reporting. We did have a star-studded uh, earnings last night. Qualcomm's gapping down. McKesson, which is a big mega cap, it's gapping down. MetLife, gapping, it's going down. It had earnings. There was another one. Can't remember who it was. Was it AMD last night or the day before? I can't remember. One second here and I'll find it. Okay, guys, the one I was looking for was ARM. ARM reported last night, gapping down this morning. ARM Holdings, that's one of your AI names. So basically, they ran the AI up for the ARM earnings, and now they're taking back those profits early on this morning. That's pretty much my takeaway here. Buy the rumor, possibly sell the news. But we can't get overly bearish. But like I said, we are into what could be a potential lower high. Setting up here into these 4 hour fair value gaps on S&Ps and NASDAQ. So we have to be quite mindful and still into resistance on the Russell. So be mindful of that in today's trading. Okay. Thanks a lot, and I will see you in the trading rooms. I took most of the day yesterday off, so I missed that squeeze ups, unfortunately. So thanks a lot.